So last week I asked that question. If you could relive one day, or if you had to relive one day in your past, what would it be? Kind of like Groundhog Day. And I got a lot of really interesting messages. My friend, I don't know if she wants to be named, said she was on an airplane and started to cry because she felt like she had to choose between a child and her parent. She couldn't have both of them. And that hit me because that's why I still haven't found a day to pick, because if I go before Luke was born, I can have my dad back in the picture in some way, shape, or form with the rest of the people I love. And if I want Luke in the picture, Dad has to go. That's pretty dark. But it's a fun question. I love these questions. I don't know if you guys do, but I do. And this is my fucking podcast, so I can do whatever I want here. And that brought me up to like a few kind of cool ideas. I have another guy reaching out to me about religion, and I've liked the conversation back and forth. I've tried to open my mind up, and what's been happening lately is he sent me a video of a guy who I told him I think the villain is the hero of their own story. It's kind of like a core belief I have in me. I think the villain always thinks they're doing what is best, right? In their story, they are the hero, and everyone else is the problem. And you could look at anybody in that situation, unless they're a serial killer because their brains are wired differently. I don't know what's going on in their brains. Maybe they think they're a hero too, like Jeffrey Dahmer, just eating people. Like, oh, no one else would eat these fingers. Way better than chicken fingers. That's fucking gross. Why are there no chicken toes? Anyways, he had this. I told him I'm getting frustrated with the conversation because when I ask a question, like, how do you know you're not the villain of somebody else's story? And he threw me a bunch of scripture, man, just a ton of it. And if anybody else is religious listening to this, I would like you just to know. And if you're trying to convert me, which is not my favorite thing in the world, if you throw scripture at me to answer a question, that is like using the word to describe it. That's like using a word in the definition. Like if someone says, what's the definition of invisible? And they go, well, it's where somebody's invisible and you can't see them. You're like, you can't use the word in the to describe what it is. Like in the definition, it doesn't work that way. You can't use, when you're defining a word, you can't use the word to define it. That's not how the dictionary works, right? Or the dictionary would be confusing as hell. So that what was happening. And I told him that. And because I was just getting frustrated, I'm like, as soon as you throw scripture, I don't even read anything else you send me. And I told him, I'm just trying to find common ground with you, and I'm trying to connect with you in a certain way. And that's what I do with religious people, because I do think their intention is great. Maybe they think I'm going to hell. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe they. I've made a whole podcast on this where I think religion can be a good thing. It creates community and all sorts of other things. I talked about it on the way back, but he said he uses, and this was kind of an important kind of thought in my head, that he uses scripture as a way to define what's right and wrong. The book tells him, scripture tells him what is right and wrong. And if he didn't have God or scripture, then humans would just be running around trying to decide what is right and wrong. And that's an interesting take, because that's what I think happens. I think humans decide what's right and wrong. And it's messy, because humans are messy. So killing, right? Let's just use killing as an example. Killing is bad. We all agree, humans, religious people, it's one of the commandments. We should not kill. Thou shalt not kill. You get in trouble for killing people, right? Unless you go to war. Then it's okay, and you can come back with a Purple Heart for killing a bunch of people for your country. So that's weird, right? And I don't know what religion says about that. But that's a funny little loophole that nobody seems to, talk about. And so it's weird. How do you define right and wrong, right? That's a great question. And I don't really have the answers to that. Like, where does that moral compass come from? And I don't know. If I break this down at its simplest form, I just try not to hurt other people. I try not to hurt other things, and I try to just learn from my mistakes, I suppose. I have this whole idea. The way I try to live is I think everybody should be allowed to do whatever the hell they want, as long as they're not stopping somebody else or hurting anybody else in the process. And when you look at the world, there's a lot of people that are just hurting other people. Maybe they don't even realize it sometime. Maybe they feel like they're the hero of their story. I don't know. It's very weird. And you know what else is weird? I'm just rambling now. But remember when Charlie Kirk died? Like 2 months ago? Just 8 short weeks ago? And nobody's talking about it anymore except Candace Owens? That's weird. Or what about that guy who killed that the insurance company CEO? Nobody's talking about that either. That's weird. That was a weird one too, because yes, he's going to trial. I have not been following it. I'm just talking about things now. But a lot of people were happy about that. So I don't know. What does the Bible say about that? Probably all sorts of things, and people are going to come and talk to me about it. And I would prefer you don't. Because I don't know. If there's 1,000 religions, man, and here's a quote by Ricky Gervais I really like. He was talking to Stephen Colbert, and he goes, "There are 1,000 religions, and I don't believe in 1,000 of them." And he goes, "But you believe in one of them, which means you don't believe in 999 religions. So technically, you're 999 atheists to one believer. So we're more alike as an atheist than you think." And I'm not saying I'm an atheist, but that's a very interesting take. That I'm a believer. It's very black and white, but I don't think a lot of people think about it in gray. Like, oh, there's all these other things. This also hurt me. So there was a guy once, and I asked him that question. I was like, well, what about these other religions? Like, well, they're all wrong. Oh, okay. And now I can't talk to you either, because that just shut the door. It's like you're not even open to exploring what the other religions are saying. Yeah. Anyways, so let's get back to this. Like, how do we determine right or wrong? And that's kind of stumpy, right? Like, how do you do that? And I think about that. I see it a lot when I see my kid. Like, my daughter, 2.5. She yelled at the dog the other day. She goes, "Get out, fucking dog." And she learned that from me. Probably because I say fucking dog a lot, and I yell at them, especially when they piss all over the house or jump on things they're not supposed to, and I need to watch my language. Or do I? Because we've talked about language as well. You know, it's an interesting thing. Is that wrong, or does it just make other people uncomfortable? I don't know. It's weird, right? Right or wrong? How do we how do we know? Let's do a few more of these questions. These are kind of fun. I typed a few of these into ChatGPT just to see weird questions. Here's one I've thought about a lot. Maybe you guys can do this too with me. But how do you define happiness? And as somebody who's wrestled, well, I've been told. This gets interesting. I feel like I should still make a podcast about this. But my depression story, when I was 10 years old, diagnosed with depression, told it was just like having a heart disease you will have it the rest of your life, and it can never change. And I've come to find out that's all bullshit. And so I was always looking for happiness, because anything besides happiness, I was a bad person. that was wrong, and I should not be feeling any of those feelings. I should feel shame about it and things. And so happiness has been elusive in a lot of ways. And I find it to be elusive because when I've studied it, happiness is it's a feeling, just like all the other ones. And you can't hold on to a feeling forever. They're short acting. And when you look at what emotions really are, and I don't know if any of you have, but it's like chemical reactions in your body and brain that just give you sensations in your body. See how I almost said feelings in your body to describe feelings, and that's what we shouldn't be doing, everybody. To send in scripture from the Feelings Bible. Anyways, so those sensations that happen in your body, like what do we want with those? What's kind of going on? And so, how do I define happiness? I mean, I always look at it like they're just chemical sensations and reactions happening in your body, and they're giving you this thing, and it feels really good. It feels really good. And I find when I chase happiness, it's harder to get. It's good. It's like running on ice, right? If you try and sprint on ice, you just don't go anywhere. Or it's like those toys where like the tube filled with water, and you squeeze it and it shoots out of your hand. That's kind of what happiness feels like. I've kind of found that when it shows up, you just have to like appreciate that it's here, or even if you start to appreciate it, then it like, oh, I'm gone. Oh, I'm not here anymore. So I don't really know how to define happiness. I just, I appreciate it when it shows up, I guess. And lately it's been showing up a lot more. I don't know what's been going on. Maybe I'm just less stressed. It's helped that Luke, I made a video, I don't know if I reposted it yet, I don't think I did, but about not being able to connect with my son. And that's been really hard. It's been really hard because you're just taking care of this thing that's screaming at you all the time and wants food, and then wants to be changed, and wants to be held. And while you're holding him, you're trying to do all these other things, and you can't do them all. While your daughter that you've been building a connection with, and who's been around for 2.5 years, is wanting you as well. And you're like, this new thing here, this new child doesn't even like me, and this other one wants to give me kisses on my knees all the time while she's hugging me, and wants to play and yells daddy and things. And it's been hard connect. I was waiting for Luke to connect with him, and it's showed up in the last 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. He's getting more mobile. I show up and he reaches for me now while he smiles at me. He's in a walker, and if I'm sitting on the ground, he'll run over to me and then just grab me no matter where I am, which feels really good. When I pick him up, he'll fall asleep on my shoulder and give me a hug. And yeah, it's been great. That's been, it was like a breath of, not fresh air. It was like a huge relief that this finally showed up, because at the 5-month mark, 4.5 month mark, I was like, this is never going to show up. This kid's going to hate me forever. And so I just feel lighter lately. Maybe that's the happiness part, and it feels really good. It feels good to have both kids, and when we're all in sync, and that's been happening recently. It's been good. It's been really good. And so I don't know how to define happiness. How would you define happiness if you're listening to this? I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I've just wanted it for so long as a kid, just sitting in sadness and depression and despair all the time. I felt like I needed it, and really it feels like it's on the other side of the spectrum, where I was just happy being in the middle. Contentment and peace. And maybe that's where I am at now. It's not like happiness. Happiness just kind of flirts with you. You just get it. It's like when the sun comes out of the clouds and it just warms you up for a minute, and then it goes back behind the clouds. You're like, oh man, that felt really good. Yeah. I don't know if that defines happiness for anybody, but that's what I'm trying to do. Um, what else? What can I talk about? People have been angry with me and Carrie for some reason because we put up Christmas stuff the day after Halloween. They're like, well, you can't put up stuff until after Thanksgiving. Well, Thanksgiving's a stupid holiday in my opinion, anyways. You know, it's great for hanging out with people you don't get to see all the time. I love that, but man, let's just have a holiday where we overeat and we celebrate the mass murder of a bunch of Native Americans. It's just so stupid to me, but I do love the part where we just get to hang out with people you love again. That's the best part. The rest of it, pure garbage. So if we need to have a reminder of how our history lessons in school were not accurate about what was really going on, so we can spend time with people we love. Cool. Appreciate that. That's great. That's so much fun. But what I usually do is when I'm setting up Christmas stuff, and we do this early, because I should do a whole podcast on this, but Christmas feels good. And my buddy, again, I don't know if he wants to be named, asked me, like, is the Christmas magic gone for you? And in some ways it is. Like, it's not what it was. It as you become an adult, it starts to feel like there's more people to buy things for, and there's could be more disappointment if you don't do it their way, and you have to do certain things. And like, we have 4 Christmases to go to, and if you don't go to one, you're a horrible person. And if you show up tired, it's just like, it's too much. It's too much, and that part sucks, and I hate it. I hate being an adult going to Christmas. And I've just given into it forever, and now I'm at this point where I don't want to. I just don't care anymore. Like, I think something's happened in the last year where I'm like, I can either disappoint other people or I can disappoint myself. And I'm sick of disappointing myself. I'm around me more. I'm around me way more than I am these other people. So they can be disappointed if they don't like something I'm doing. And so anyways, I don't like that part of Christmas. But when I put in like Christmas movies, it's like the magic is kind of there, because movies for a long time for me have been a way to capture those feelings of what it's supposed to be. And just being kind and good. And I always think of Scrooged. If you've ever seen the movie Scrooge with Bill Murray, it's fantastic. And there's a scene at the very end where Bill Murray just ad-libbed the whole thing. I don't know if you knew that, but he was talking about how good it feels just to give, and he's crying. He's like, if somebody just needs something, you just give them, and I feel good. It's the best I've felt in a long time. And that's, to me, like, watching movies kind of gets me into that place. These Christmas movies, most of them. Some of them are garbage, of course, but that's kind of how I get the Christmas magic back. And so that helps. And then having 2 kids helps a lot. Like, Amelia is able to recognize Santa Claus on the Christmas tree, knows what a Christmas tree is, knows what cookies, knows that Santa eats cookies. And as an adult, as a parent now, like, that magic is in her. And it gets to it bleeds off on me because you're creating that for him. So hopefully she doesn't listen to this. And it's been fun. It's been fun. To the point where one of the Christmas movies I was watching, I wish I could remember what one it was. It was just recently. I just had it playing on in the background. But I realized there are this massive obligation of just buying shit. Just buying shit for people. And I fucking hate it. And I've talked to Carrie about it every year, and it bums her out. She gets mad at me just for bringing it up. If you hate Christmas so much, then don't participate. It's like, I fucking love Christmas. I hate parts of it. I fucking hate parts of it. And I hate that I'm participating in it. And I hate that you have to show your love by how big your gift is, or that if you buy people gifts, you can't buy somebody something that would make them happy because it doesn't cost as much as this person over here. And so you're valuing how much you love somebody based on the dollar amount. You gave this person a $20 gift, and you gave this one a $27 gift. You can't do that. That's not fair. It's like, fuck all gifts. This isn't what it's about. This is not what it's about. What it's about, and this movie kind of showed me, reminded me, it's like, man, it's really just about if you can tap into the love part of it, right? Who cares what the idea of the gift is? You could get somebody a picture of a moment you guys had together, and you could give that to them. That feels fucking good. That feels so good. That's coming from a place of love and just trying to like connect with that person. And every week I talk about connecting with people. Every fucking week I talk about connecting with people on this podcast. Because I'm not good at it. And now I think that's what I'm searching for all the time. How to connect with people more. And this has helped. This podcast has helped some. I've been able to connect to people like through online and things like that. People call me, send me messages through these things. It feels good to get those. But yeah, I guess what I'm asking is, what am I chasing? You know, it's like there's a dragon I'm chasing. And I've had it in sports, you know, this connection piece, and I get it with my family, but man, it feels good when you can just. I felt it again when I was hanging out with my buddy Sam for 5 days again, where you're just like, I can turn off all of my filters, every single filter, and just be. Man, that feels good. That's all I want all the time, and have somebody do the same back. No judgment, just sitting in it, just sitting there with somebody. It's the fucking best. And so maybe that's what I'm trying to say is like this Christmas shit. If you can just be fully present and fully be yourself, and you don't have to worry about like obligations are not real. That's a filter. That an obligation is a fucking filter. And if you feel like you're obligated, maybe that person, you shouldn't be buying that person a present or something. Maybe you should try something else, you know? It's like, maybe this year I'm just going to try and really lean into loving people through Christmas. I know that sounds weird, but I think I've gotten away from that for a long time. You know, like, yeah, just loving people through Christmas. I just like spending time with people. Maybe, hopefully they like spending time with me too, I suppose. That went off on a really weird, random, goofy tangent, didn't it? There's other questions on here, but like one other one I would like to bring up. Two more things before I get out of here. Like, what's the difference between living and existing? That was another thing ChatGPT asked. And when I think about living and existing, I think I broke my mom's heart a few times, maybe even Carrie's, when I said, like, a lot of times I'm just waiting to die. And that's where it feels like I'm just existing. I'm just here. I'm hoping things change. There's still hope, you know, in there, that because I've seen things change, but most of the time it's just like, life is hard, you know. Life is really fucking hard for me, and I keep thinking, if I can just figure it out a little bit more, maybe it'll be easier. Then I get these religious guys who have it all figured out, and they're like, I'm happy. I just follow this ghostly man who rose from the dead like a zombie. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I could just believe that. That looks nice, but I can't. It's so fucking insane to me. But I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious about those people, where they come from. But I feel like existing is more like your automatic reactions are leading, and living is you are being active in it. You are driving the car. You are steering the boat. And sometimes man, when life gets really hard or stressful, you feel like you're just existing and just hoping something can change. And maybe you don't have the energy to grab the steering wheel at that moment, you know? And I know I've been there. And this gets really hard because sometimes eventually you'll have to, you know? And I've learned that. Eventually you'll have to. Maybe you do need a little rest, you know? I know when I've been in depressions, you just kind of want to sit there and lay there. And everyone's telling you to get up and go do things. And that sounds like the hardest fucking thing in the entire world to do. And one day when you get a little bit more energy, maybe do the dishes that day. Maybe you just go outside and get the mail. Maybe just go for a walk. And then it kind of starts building on each other. And then you're starting to drive your own life again. And you start living, and that's where things start changing, which is great. And yeah, maybe. So yeah, living versus existing. ChatGPT gave these fucking stupid questions, some of these. You know, they're not as good as my Groundhog Day question that just kind of popped up into my brain. But you want to hear something really weird I asked ChatGPT? Here, you guys. This is a little bit insane, but kind of cool. I literally asked him about humans, human nature. I go, what do you find surprising about humans? This is AI. I asked you this, right? And it said, one of the most surprising things about humans is how contradictory you can be, and yet how well you function in spite of, or maybe because of, those contradictions. So I was in, and I needed to read more. And they said, you can be fiercely logical in one moment and completely ruled by emotion in the next. And both states can lead to brilliant discussions or catastrophic ones. You'll go to great lengths to avoid pain, but sometimes deliberately choose to endure it for love, for art, and for growth, or for a cause. And then it says you can hold two opposing beliefs in your mind for years without ever feeling the urgent need to. Oh man, I didn't finish it. To discuss it. And then it says, and maybe most fascinating, you cooperate on a massive scale with people you've never met. That's what I'm doing with you right now, most of you. Through shared stories, symbols, and rules, yet will fiercely distrust somebody just because they like the wrong sports team or coffee brand. That's powerful, right? I'm going to read that again. Maybe the most fascinating. You cooperate on a massive scale with people you've never met. Through shared stories, symbols, and rules, yet will fiercely distrust somebody just because they like the wrong sports team or coffee brand. It's like your species is running a never-ending improv show with no script, but somehow you still build cities, raise families, and send robots to other planets. And then it said, if you want, I can share a short list of the most surprising human quirks I've noticed. So that was kind of weird to read, right? The sports team one kind of blew my mind. And then this is where it got a little dark. Then I asked, will we survive? And it went, probably. And then I went down a rabbit hole with it asking best case scenario, worst case scenario, timelines. And I'll keep those to myself unless you're genuinely curious. But it's interesting, right? I don't know. AI is weird. That feels like it can be a whole nother discussion. I still think like the coolest thing, everyone's worried about it, worst case scenarios all the time. And I think a podcast I was listening to talked about how AI could maybe solve some of the problems that AI has created. Like the energy or the storage space situation where it's just creating these massive buildings where it could collect data, you know, and it's burning up like a bunch of water and all sorts of other things. And maybe AI is a way to help solve nuclear fusion, you know, which would help with a lot of those types of issues, which is kind of interesting in and of itself. But yeah, this was a random ass weird podcast, but some of these questions seem important. I like to go down them. Some of them just seem kind of stupid. I like the ones that get me stuck. That Groundhog Day question got me stuck. And my friend who was on the airplane, I go, well, what if you had 3 days that would just go back to back to back? And she goes, oh, that's easy, and listed them off right away. I thought that was pretty cool. So it's like, maybe the next question is like, if you had to, the original question, if you had to relive one day from your past, what would you choose? And some people have told me they've stayed up all night thinking about it. Do I want to relive a bad day? Do I want to relive a good day? Do I want to relive like my best day? And interesting answers people have said is tomorrow. So they still want a surprise, which is weird, because if tomorrow is the same tomorrow every single time, it's still going to be the same day. You just might not know. So that's weird. It could be the worst day of your life, and then you're fucking stuck in hell forever. You know? Do you want to risk that? I don't know. That's a weird one, right? Because after this whole story starts, tomorrow is today forever. You know what I'm saying? So then maybe the question too is, if you can't answer this, which I can't, how many days would you need to be able to answer it? So for my friend on the airplane, 3. I'll have to think about this one now. Could I do it in 2? Or could I, or one's hard. But yeah. Thanks for listening to me again, guys. That's all I got this week. It's been a lot. Life's meant to be experienced. Curiosity will get you there. Thanks for listening. Bye.